Hi guys, Django Media Web Application. Okay, today guys, I want us to build a Django web application that will allow users to upload their pictures and videos and musics, anything, and those pictures and video and musics can also be downloaded by their friends, their loved ones, or even themselves. Okay, so it's going to be very informative, and we're going to be doing everything from scratch in this video. Okay, before we proceed, it's good to know what Django is all about. Django is a Python framework that is used for building all kinds of web applications. Okay, website like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, website like Amazon, Digital Ocean, Proxmax, and the rest are also built and powered by Django. And Django is also used with other languages like Flutter to build mobile application. Okay, and even hackers use Django for building web hacking tools, which I have done myself. You can check out the video on my YouTube. Okay, so enough for those chit chats. Let's dive straight into this video. Alright, so I'm here with Ubuntu operating system. So if I type uname -a all, you're gonna see that this is Ubuntu running 64-bit CPU, and the name of my computer is ThinkPad L450, and my name is Ben, and this is Linux OS I'm running, and the Ubuntu version I'm running is Ubuntu 22.04. okay, good. And this is my kernel of my Ubuntu version 6.8 kernel. Alright, so everything we're going to be doing here is going to be in Linux. You can also follow up if you're using WXL in Windows, or if you are using maybe any other IDE like VS Code or Sublime or any other editor, or Atom. You can also follow. Everything here is the same. Just make sure that you have your editor set up and every other library installed, hence you are using Windows. But if you're using Linux, just follow what I'll be doing here. Okay, so first of all, we're going to create a directory here. So I'm going to use mkdir. I'm going to call this directory uploading media. Okay, all right, that spelling was wrong. Uploading what? Media. Okay, so we change into that uploading media. All right, now we are in a free and open directory. There's nothing stored inside it. If I type pwd, it shows us a route to the directory we just created, and that is where we are currently inside. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use Python. Okay, but before we start using anything, it's good to know, for us to know applications that need to be installed. First of all, we need to install Python 3. So make sure you have Python. If you don't have it, you can just type sudo, alright, sudo apt install Python 3. And not just that, you put space. Okay, you put space and install also Python 3-venv. Just on the same line. You can do all on the same line. Then lastly, Python 3-pip. Right, we need these three tools to be installed, so make sure you have them installed. If I press my enter key or my password, you're going to see that I have them all installed. Okay, my system here is facing a lock front end, so I just have to delete that before this will work. So I press Ctrl+C. This is just for my own system, not from your own system. The problem is just from mine. So I will type sudo first and rm space then I'm gonna say, what's the name of that directory again? It's called var/lib. I'm gonna press tab 2 times. Let me look if I'm getting it correct. /lib /dpkg and /lock which is lock front end. Okay, so say no such file or directory. Let me look if okay, I'm supposed to put slash at the front here. This is just my own problem. Okay, so so if I bring up that program, that code we type, and I press enter, it's now going to, okay, it's still facing another lock, so I just have to delete that one too. So this one will be just lock. It's just from my own system. Okay, so now everything's gonna work. So don't do those things I just did. Those one are just from my system. Okay, so I press enter. We have everything working now. You can see the install, all those packages are installed. So since we have them, we're gonna now start a Python environment, Python 3 space minus m venv, then I'll call it CS, stands for computer science. Okay, and that will allow us to create a virtual environment that is going to contain everything we are installing. Okay, so do ls, we have the CS there, and we use a command called source to activate the virtual environment. So put cs space / bin, then activate. I believe most of you already know this because I've been seeing me doing this a couple of times in my life. Alright, so that has been activated. You can see that here that it has been activated. So the next thing we need to do now is to install the framework called Django. So we type pip3 space install space the Django, right? If we put equals to, then a given version like version 4.2 is going to install version 4.2. Or if we take off that, it's going to install the latest version. So we want the latest version. So I press enter and wait for that. So the Django is now installing, and right now we should have the Django installed. So yeah, so if we type pip list, it's going to tell us all packages that we have installed. You can see them there, and we have the Django 5.2, right? And this is the version. Alright, and other tools also install along with it. Okay, so now we have installed the Django. The next thing we're going to do here is we are going to create a project with the Django, because the Django, for you to use the Django, you must create a project first. So we use the Django dash admin, we type start, not in uppercase, in smaller case, start project, right? So I will call the project here, pick media, okay, or let's say pick me. Okay, just I just don't know what name to give right now, but that just was what just come up on my head. So I'll type pick me ls. So we have pick me, we can now change into pick me project. Alright, so here we have the manage.py and pick me. We can just start the manage.py executable binary, so that we tell it to run a server for us. This is an inbuilt server in the Django for development. Development means something that is not yet ready for production, but it can be tested. Alright, so press enter, is going to start up a server. Here you can see what is written here on. You have 18 on applied migrate. We don't worry about that for now. Just let's start our server and see if we got everything installed and working. So I will click open the link, and we should have the Django up and running. Okay, so here it is. Alright, so you can see it works. Alright, the installed worked successfully. Congratulations. That means we have the Django. So I'm gonna now minimize this. Alright, so what we need to do now is to close this. That means everything is working. ls. Next thing we need to do now is also to now start creating an app. App means different functionality that this project could have. So we're gonna type Python 3, we call it manage.py, and we type start app. Okay, we're gonna give the name of the app. So I'm gonna call this I'm gonna call this app, let me call it core, let me call it share. Oh, that wasn't spelled right. I think it's share pic. Okay, so let's call it share picture. Alright, just name like that makes sense. So now create that share picture app for us. So in this share picture app, we have to change into it. Alright, now we are into it. If I clear the screen ls, you can see there are different files here and a single directory called migrations. The migration directory is a directory where every of our database table and rows and columns will live. Okay, so if we are using any database such as the default database called SQLite tree, okay, SQLite tree is going to be getting every of its tables and rows from this migrate directory. Okay, but the migrate directory itself is going to be getting its file that it will be stored in there as the database from the models.py. You can see the models.py there. So which means we have to write our models.py first. So we use the vim to open the models.py, press enter. You can now see we have the models.py. The editor I'm using right now is known as the vim editor. Its name is what? Vim. Alright, so make sure you have that installed, or you can use any editor of your choice. So models are created with class. Okay, so class is a keyword in Python that is used for creating objects, classes. Alright, so I'm going to call this class document. Alright, I'm going to call it document. So I'm going to say models, okay, dot models. So remember that second model we have uppercase M. I'll put colon. Alright, so what we're going to do right now is, since we have called the model, we need to now create what we want. So I'm going to say title. Alright, because we would like to give title to every picture. So the title will kind of like be the name of the title of the picture, what the picture is all about, maybe anything. Alright, maybe anything we want as the title of the picture. So kind of like give it a title. Okay, this is a family photo, this is a friend's photo, this is a party photo, you know, just it. So I'm going to type models, okay, dot char. The char here, okay, is going to be in uppercase letter. Alright, so char here are known as the char field here are known as methods in the models. Okay, they are models are functions of that are inside a class. So every function inside a class, that means the function is built inside a class. It's not a standalone function. So every function inside a class is known as a models in Python. So the character field here we want to set a max length. That means we are giving a length of max that will be acceptable here. So I'm going to say 200 and let's say 55. Alright, and I press enter. The next one I want to do here is I want to say file this time around. So this file also will call the models. We'll say dot file feed, right? Say dot file feed. So I open my bracket here. So the file feed here has to do to the part where the picture will be uploaded. So I'm going to call it let's say upload underscore to, uploaded to, let's say uploaded to, so it makes sense more. Alright, uploaded to, so we say equals to single quote. So I'm going to call the part, I'm going to give the name of the directory that the Django is going to create for us as the path to where our media that is uploaded will be stored. Alright, so that it can be uploaded by the server itself to the official website. So we can call it anything we want. Okay, we can call it documents, we can call it anything, or let's use documents because it makes sense. Documents. So I'll put / at the end because inside this is where the picture is gonna live. So close the single quote and I'll put my close bracket. So after I'm done with that, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna define a function here, str. Okay, so I'm gonna pass in self. Okay, self-referential. Then I'm gonna put column, and we got to return something. So I'm gonna say let's self return the title. We can also say self return also the file name, okay, if we want. Alright, but for now let's say title. Okay, if I want self to also return the file name, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna do f, okay, format, then I'm gonna say double quote here, and I'm gonna put an open curly brace here and say return this title. Alright, so I'm gonna put a comma here again, gonna put another double quote, I'm gonna say self, I'm gonna say self dot dot file. Okay, and I'll put, and this will also be what, in a open curly brace. All right. That was wrong for me. There shouldn't be this here, and there shouldn't be this here. So this is just it, and we have this set. But I don't want to do it this way, so I just want only title. Okay, just want to return only title, self dot title. Okay, so that is it. Very simple model. I remember I told you I will be making this very simple. All right, so I will save this code. All right, we got no error here. We'll save this code, so I press enter. All right, clear the screen. So we are done with the models.py. Now we need to use touch to create a file called forms. Make sure you put s, forms.py. Okay, the work of form is that it helps us to organize, or easy access, or easy way of creating our forms. Okay, which is the tables and rows, or accessing them. All right, so we'll press enter. So we use vim, okay, to start that, to go to that forms and start writing the form. So I'm gonna call in some Django library here, which is, I'll say, from Django we wanna import forms. Okay, now we have import forms, so we have access to most of the forms. And but what are we trying to create a form for? Is the database itself in the model.py. So we need to import that database. So I will say from share picture, remember that's the name of the app. I will say dot models. So inside it we have a models. Okay, then I want to say in that models we want to import what? Document. All right, is that understood? So here we create a class. Remember, a class is a keyword in Python that is used to create a class. So in this class I'm going to call it document form, open brackets. Then I'm going to say forms dot model form. All right, that was spelled well. So we're going to close this and put curly brace. So now to access from here, we're going to be accessing this document. Okay, so this document of this models.py. okay, we need to access it. So the documents have model, okay, a feed of model. The feed of model talks about the table. A table must contain a row and a column. So automatically right now, okay, we are accessing the table. So when we say model equals to, then we'll pass in the document, which is the model class called document. So now that we have accessed that, the next one we're going to put is the feed. So we say the feed should be equals to, okay, the actual content of the models. Yeah, so this document that is inside what these models here. All right, the actual content, we're going to pass it as a feed. So we put it as a list. So we say single quote. Remember, the first one was title, okay, we'll put comma, and the other one was what? File, and we'll put comma, we close it. That's how we access the field. Okay, this is just very simple. Instead of you writing your form in the view.py, it makes things difficult for you to do, but doing it like this helps you a lot. So we save this code, and that is it. So we are done with the form.py. The next thing we need to write is the URL to ls URL. So we need that touch to create a URL, urls.py. So the urls.py is a file we are just creating that will help us to route to our views.py. Okay, so we say vim, which is my editor, urls will open. So I'll give you a quick comment here. I will say share a comment here. I will say share picture, which is the name of our app, share picture route to views.py. okay, so now we need to create that route. But before we create that route, there is a library we need to import. So we do from Django.urls. So we want to import the path, okay, library. So now that we have imported that, we also want to import from, you know, share, which is our app, share picture. Sure, we want to import what, views. Okay, so the view, what we want to import inside views is the function that we have there. So let's call the function here, let me say home. Okay, so home is import here, so we can make use of that home. So we can start writing our URL patterns, which is a list. Alright, so here I'm gonna call the path open bracket single quote because I don't want to put a route there. So I'm gonna say single quote, I'm gonna put comma, then I'm gonna call the home, comma, and give a name to this home. So the name here is gonna be, I'm gonna call it home page. Alright, and that is it. So that is all we need. So now we just successfully route to our views.py. So we are gonna save this, and the next thing is now is to open the views.py, which is this views.py, and write our final code we need to write inside this app. Okay, so the view.py is going to contain some lot of code, but not that much. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to include, I'm going to include the library. So I'm going to do from Django.shortcut. All right, okay, there should be X there. I'm going to import redirect. Okay, redirect. Okay, so after I import that, I'm going to also do from share picture, right? I'm going to go to the forms, okay, and I'm going to import inside the forms the document form, right? Then also I'm going to do from share, okay, picture, okay, I'm gonna do dot models, right? Dot models. So we are going into the models. What do you want to import there? So we want to import the document. All right, is that clear and understood? So now we can now start writing our views. So views contain function. Remember the function we created. Okay, we import to from this into our urls.py. So that function, we must give that name here so that the code we know, right? And there's another thing we are supposed to do here, so which is from the Django, from the Django dot decorators dot views, okay, dot views dot csrf. Okay, we want to say we want to import csrf, which is cross-site request forgery underscore protector. So what this thing does is that it's gonna allow, you're gonna force the Django to use the protection of csrf, because in reproduction this is very good. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna do at this bottom of this function, I'm gonna do at here at cross-site request forgery underscore protector. All right, okay, so and that is it. So inside here we pass the request. Okay, whenever you request for a web application, okay, what actually happens, how does the application knows where to go? It first of all comes to the URL. The URL request for this view.py. So the request is using this request we have here. All right, so we close this and put like this. So now we're going to use that request, okay, to request for a post. That means something we need to post. All right, so we're going to use the if statement. We're going to say if, okay, request dot, now we need to pass in a method of what we want to request. So request dot method, we say if it's equals to post, so the post here will be in uppercase letter. So if equals to post, so that means we want to offer something to them. Okay, there was a mistake there. It should be single quotes. That's why the indentation didn't work. So it now works. Okay, so we want to request something. So what we want to request, okay, is something that we want to store what you are requesting for in a variable. So that which you are requesting for will come from the document, which is the form itself. So document form. So the document form, we are not going inside that document form. We are saying now using that request dot post to request for post, and we're also doing that request dot files to request for files, and we close that. So everything we just request will be stored in this form here, this form variable. So this form is a variable. Okay, now that we have request for that, we press enter. We'll enter another if to now do something. So we're gonna test that form. Let's say form dot is underscore valid, open and close bracket. So we want to say if this form is actually valid, that means if it exists in the form .py, then what we want to do here is that we want to call the save. We want to say form dot save. So we want to save that form dot save, and that we save that code. All right, so now that we have saved that code, we just need to return that everything works fine. Then we call the redirect. So the redirect here, we just redirect back to our home function, and that is it. So that is very simple as that. All right, so if everything works, all right, what we now need to do is, if everything did not work, that means in all this place it did not works, so we need an else statement. So the else statement here is going to contain a directory which we are going to call document. No, okay, let's go down so that we all see it very clear. Okay, so if it did not work, the next thing we need to do is to now call that form variable and say the form should be equals to just the document form, open and close. So we literally say if any of all this here from this request will not work, we just want to pass everything into the form here. So if everything here from this if do not work, we just want to pass the form here, so which means everything in the form is saved in the form variable. Then after that we break out of that. So we want to say now, we want to say documents, which is the variable we are creating right now. So it's going to equals to document, all right, and we want to say equals to document dot object dot all. So we are capturing all. Then all that will be capturing, then we have to do our final return. So we use render and we pass request, saying where is the request coming from. We will create a directory, we'll call it temp underscore the name app, which is share, because this will be a template for share app. So pick picture. All right, so I will put slash inside it, inside the share temp picture. We want to have a file called, let's call it index.html. okay, and that is it. So after that we put comma. Another thing, we like to pass something here which are variables, okay, that is gotten from here. So if everything here works fine, our code will skip this else and come here. So it sets this variable and use the content of all he has gotten from the form, and we are sending this as a variable into the index.html so that we can use them, so it can be visible. So we're gonna say double curly brace. So we're gonna pass it at the dictionary. We say form. Okay, so this is a dictionary. Dictionary must contain a key and a value, or a value and a key. So we also pass form. I'll put comma. So put another one. So it's gonna be called documents. Okay, single quote and documents. All right, and we close this entirely and close it, the actual render. Okay, so this is a very simple code and it's nice. Okay, why I added this code is because we are going to be deploying this app using Cloudflare. So we need to tell our Django to trust the link. That's why you have to add this link. In real life, in real production, also add this. Is very, very important. It forces this protection of cross-site request forgery. Okay, so we are done with this. We save this and we press enter, and I clear the screen. So we are done with the apps here. We are done with the apps here. I will not be doing some CSS because I don't want the video to be that long. So I'm going to move one step backward, ls, and I'm going to make a directory here called templates. Okay, I'm going to make a directory here called templates, and I'm going to change into templates. All right, so we do ls. I'm also going to make another directory called temp, okay, underscore that share picture. Okay, this to just to indicate that this is coming from this template belongs to the share picture. It belongs to the share picture app. All right, so press enter. Okay, so we change into there. Is called stem share picture. So now we are in there. So there's no file there. We use touch to create the index.html. Okay, so that has created that file. Ls we should not have that file. So we can now start writing this index.html. So okay, HTML is not that hard to write. Okay, so you already know how to write the HTML, so I'll just be fast here. So HTML, and we type HTML space language equals to double quote en double quote, and we close this. Head, we just have to close this, sorry, and we type head. So since I won't be doing any CSS, so I'm not adding any CSS link, I will just do well to add a title. All right, so I'm gonna say media file. Okay, so we close the title because any tab you open in HTML, you have to close them, else you get HTML error. So I've also closed the head this time around. So the next thing is we open the body, which is what's gonna contain in our code. So yeah, everybody here must have a header, and I'm closing the header also, and everybody must also have a main, and also closing what that main. Okay, and heavy header must also have what, a footer. Okay, and I'll also be closing that footer. Then once we are done, we close the body and we close the HTML. So let's write it. The code we are going to write is going to live in the main body. So in this main body, I'm going to do something. I'm going to say h1. So I'm going to say here upload file. I'm going to call it upload file. So I'm going to close the h1. But what I'm going to do, I would like this to be in the middle. So I'm going to do something like center Okay, and here center, so we have to close that center. I want it to be in the middle, sorry, and we also have to close this center. Okay, so now that we have that, we need to write our forms, so in HTML. So these forms allow us to pass in submit forms that we want. So we use a form must have a method. Okay, so the method we are doing here is going to be equals to post. Okay, so we are posting something, so we'll paste that space. We need to do an encrypt type, okay, which is going to be equal to multi-part. So without this, our code is not going to work, so we need to include the multi-part dash form dash data and close that, and also close this code. All right, so now in these forms is where we're going to pass our cross-site scripting request version. So we're going to do this percent, we do CRF underscore token. So we do this and we also close this. All right, now that we have do this, we pass in a variable of that form variable here. So we are accessing the form variable in our view.py. We want to do .as underscore p. Okay, so now that we have accessed it, the next thing we need to do now is to send a submit button. So we want to call the button, so a button here must have a type. Okay, so we want to say the type here is equals to submit. All right, so we close that. So what are we submitting? The submitting should be, let's say upload. So I will just put the word here, upload. Okay, and I will close this. So upload means, you know, upload your file. Well, let me put upload your files. Upload your files. So I'm gonna now close that button. So that close that button. Then after we are done with that, we then close the form, and that is it. So that will upload the file, but when the file is uploaded, the file is not yet visible for us, but it has been uploaded in the media directory. So we need to go to that media directory and capture the file. So I'm going to use another let me say h1 again. Then I'm going to say something like I'm also going to say, let me add the center, let me put it in the center. All right, I'm going to say uploaded. Now the file is being uploaded files. All right, this one not upload file, now uploaded file. That means the file has been uploaded. So we close the center and also close the h1. All right, okay. So what we're gonna do here, now that we have the file uploaded, now is to get access to that file. So we're going to use a for loop here. So open curly brace percent, I'm going to do for, so I'm going to create a variable called doc. I'm going to say in the membership of, there is one variable we have called document, if you remember, right? We created that and we close this and we press enter. So in this document, we want to access a variable here. So put double curly brace, right? We want to access a variable, but before we access this variable, there's something I would like us to do here is to set this in an on order list. Okay, so which means this will take a tab. Okay, so now we are going to say this list index. So the list index is going to contain a variable. Okay, we are saying the variable is coming from the doc. First of all, dot, we are accessing title. Okay, we are accessing title, title dot name. All right, and we close that. All right, so after we close that, we would like to get this. We just get the title, the name of that, the name title of that variable. So that's going to be showed on the screen. But that's not all we want. We want, when we have that name printed, we also like to be able to like click the file and be able to watch the video. Watch the video, or see the picture the person uploaded, right? So I'm gonna do something like href. Okay, I'm gonna say equals to double quote. So here I'm gonna put double curly brace again. So I'm gonna call that same doc. I'm gonna say doc dot file, okay, dot url, right, and I'll close that curly brace, right? Oh yeah, close that curly brace, then I close that double quote, I close this, and I will also open another one, okay, which is that which we are about to click is the doc file dot url, and I will close this. So give a space, forward slash, we are closing the anchor, and forward slash, we are closing the list order. So now that we have done that, okay, the next thing I would like to do now, should in case if the for loop do not work, I would like to use an empty element here for the Django to say if we do not upload anything, let it print something. So here I will also follow that list index. I will say no file uploaded yet. Okay, just simple as like that, as that. So then the next thing here, we need to now close the for loop. So I'll do percent, I will do end for, and I will close that for loop. All right, so this is a very simple code of what we just did. So at the end there, I will now like to close the on order list. Is that understood? So this is a very simple code. All right, very simple. I know you guys understand everything we did here. But if there's any error here, we will just come and fix the error real quick. So we save this file. So we'll move 2 step backward, and I will do ls. The next thing now, we need to jump into our project, which is the pick.me. Okay, so in this pick.me contains urls and settings. First of all, let's go into the urls.py and do some setting in there. So in this url, we are going to import some files. So it will be called django.conf. okay, so we're going to import in the Coven settings first, because I'm not doing this to be a reproduction. I'm just going to test it and make sure you guys do the same and also test it. So the next one is I'm going to do the Django, okay, dot url, okay, import include. Okay, so I'm also going to do from the Django dot conf dot urls dot static. Okay, I want us to import static. Hope that is clear. Then in the path here, we have to path to our app URL. So we pass the path, okay, and we're gonna use that include. So in the include, the app is called share picture. So in the share picture, we have the URLs, and this should be in single quotes at the beginning and at the end. All right, then we close to curly brace and put comma. So that is all. Then at the bottom here, there is something we need to do, because we're not doing reproduction. So we need to tell the Django where to get the media from. So we're going to use if settings, all right, dot debug. So here we're gonna set the debug. I'm gonna say if the setting, then what we want to do here is we want to return, right, we want to return we want to return something here. We want to return something here. We want to return something. We want to return something here. What am I supposed to do here right now? So we need to tell the Django where to get our file from. So where to get our file is what we need to tell the Django to do for us. Okay guys, that is what we need to tell the Django to do for us. So what we're going to do here now, actually, we are supposed to like pass the URL to the part where it's going to get the setting medias. So yeah, I think that, so type URL patterns, we say plus equals to, you remember what this operator means? That means this thing is same thing like when we are doing equals to, okay, then we now plus, but we just want to do it this way so that it looks easier for us. So we do plus equals to, then we are going to call the static. All right, so this static, now we open bracket, we're not going to set into the static settings, right, dot, we are going to create a directory, a path to media dot URL, okay, media underscore URL. So, and it's all going to be in uppercase. Then after that, we create a document underscore root. We say this document underscore will be equals to these same settings on setting dot media in uppercase. Media should be spelled MEDIA, then we say underscore root, and we close this. Okay, so that is what we ought to do. All right, okay, so this is very cool, guys. It's very cool. It's not easy to write code. It's not easy to write code, but these things are very simple. Just follow everything I'm doing here. And if you want to learn all this also, you can DM me and I'm gonna teach you the Django. Okay, so I will save this and ls, ls. The next thing is we're gonna go to the settings.py. Now here we're gonna do some quick stuff. So I'm gonna import a library called so, and in this so here I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna put single quotes, asterisk single quote to accept anyway, but in reproduction we don't do this. All right, so in the install app, I'm gonna install my app. Remember, my app is called share picture. So I'm gonna say go into share picture, you will find a file called apps. Go into apps, then we are passing the share. The share will start with uppercase, then picture, then uppercase C, which is config. Alright, share picture config, then we close it and put comma. Make sure you put that comma. If you not put that comma, you get error. Since I'm not including database, there's no need for database, but I'm going to tell the Django the path to get my static file, my template for my HTML. So I'm going to path operating system dot path, okay, dot path dot join open bracket. We're going to be coming from the base underscore dir, which is your root directory underscore dir. So the Django is going to go there and look for the templates directory, So if the Django find it, that is where it's going to see our HTML code. Right, so that is it. The next thing we're going to do next is we're going to go to the bottom here, and we're going to add to this place the media directory. So instead of, we're going to add media underscore URLs. So it's going to be equals to single quotes. I'm going to say media / single quotes. Okay, media / single quotes. So the next one we're going to add again is media underscore root. I'm going to say equals to operating system dot path dot join open bracket. So you say from this base directory, okay, underscore, there will always be a media directory created. So one of the single quote, small letter media, media, close that single quote and close brackets, and that is all. So this is all we need to add here for this project to work fine. So we save this code and we are done. So move one step backward. So the next thing we need to do right now is we need to tell Python to create our database for us. So we say python tree manage.py. They want to say make migrations. Make sure you put the X at the end of the migrations, and that is going to create the database. Okay, so we have some few errors here saying upload to, or we say from document line 7 in the models.py. So we have issue there. So we go back to the app, we go to the app, share app, and we use Vim to open the models.py, and let's see line 7. So we count from 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So where are we making mistake? Uploaded to. Okay, let's say upload to. I think that should be the name, not uploaded to, upload to. Yeah, models.5 feed. Yeah, I think that is the error. Yeah, so move one step backward, clear the screen, and let's run that migration again. Okay, so we have another one in views line 6. So we have the imports. You see views dot this. Okay, the name, the Django dot decorators dot views dot cross size request forgery. That's where our error is coming from. So we are going to fix that. Okay, so we go fix that immediately. All right. Oh my goodness, programming is not easy, guys, but it's very fun. So once you know what you're doing, you should be able to write very good code and clean code and understand errors. So we'll go to views.py. So this is where we are making mistakes here. So what we should have here should be not views, because already in views, that's where I make my mistake, guys. It should be URLs. Okay, you say URLs. Okay, no, there's no need for else, just URL. I think so. I think that should just be URL. There's no need for URLs. I think that should just be. What am I making? No, that shouldn't be URLs. It should be from this view. So the Django in views here, because we are trying to establish a force. So it should be like this. Yeah, I think it should be like this. Yes, I think, yeah. So we move one step backward and run again. I believe we won't have any error this time. Alright, yeah, so migration works. Very simple, you know, cramming those things on my head isn't that easy. So the next thing we're gonna run is that same code, but instead of migration, we're gonna run migrate. So this will migrate our program. So it's migrating every of our database into. So we have a database now called share picture. You can see at the bottom here called share picture. So if we change to the share picture ls, we change into migrate now ls, we're going to see the file. Are you seeing 001 initialize? 001, you can see it here, 001 initialize. So if we try to cut that 001 python.py, you're gonna see everything. Are you seeing our document as name? Are you seeing the feed that contains everything we have done? Okay, so this is our database we created. So are you seeing how the Django works? Right? So let's move one step backward, another step backward. Okay, so now that we have done the make migration and migrate, the next thing is for us to just launch our application and test if everything works fine. So we'll say python 3 manage.py, then we'll use the run server and we'll press enter. So you see we are not having that unapply 18 migration. All we are having here is that we are running development server, which is when we use a database, a server such as Apache or Nginx, this one will particularly go. All right, so let us run this app and see if everything works. Okay, so we have few errors saying name document form not defined. So we are facing some little error here, so we shall just go fix. Sorry, Ctrl C, clear the screen. I will change to my share and I will use Vim to open the forms.py. So I'm making mistake in the name, you can see. Okay, not here, I think it's in the view. Sorry, Vim space views.py. When I call that document, yeah, correct document. Okay, this is where I'm making mistake. So we have to say CU. Yeah, so we save. Most time when I'm writing code, these are errors I face. Okay, all right. We move one step backward and we run that run server again. So let's run this time around and open the link. So okay, model form has no model class specified. So model form has no model class specified. All right, so you can see the issue here, it has no class specified. So let's go fix that error real quick. Okay, all these are just minor error. So it's coming from the forms models .py. Okay, all right. Code is coming from, I think that should come from that error should come from the document. Why not? So let's change to share picture. Let's first of all cut the forms.py, see what we have there. Yeah, we import forms share picture.models, so equals to documents model form. Okay, we should properly understand this. If you don't understand this, you won't be able to do something like this. Okay, now I've seen my error. Sorry guys, I make a very terrible mistake there. Okay, there's something I didn't add here, so it's not understanding it. I'm supposed to add a class here called meta. Okay, a class called meta. So every of these model, where is getting it from, is gonna live in the meta. Okay, so I think, let me make sure that the indentation is correct. Oh, you see, I missed one line indentation. Okay, backspace. I think this correct this error right now. So move one step backward and we run our run server again. So I believe this time we should have everything working clean and fine. Okay, names not defined. Guys, typing errors here is too much for me, so I'll just close most of this tab. Let me just close most of this tab here, so I will minimize. Okay, name error. That's from my index.html. So which means I'll be changing to template, then changing to this, then open the index.html, and I will go down to where I am making mistake. Okay, Where am I making mistake here? No, it's not from here. No, it's not from here. Not from here at all. Not from here, guys. The error is not from here at all. Okay. Okay, there's something I would have loved to do here, because after this name shows, I would like to have a colon before this link. All right, and what are we getting here should be the name, not even the URL, because I've already gotten the URL. We should be file dot name. Yeah, that should be what we should get. All right, so let's save this. That would have thrown error though. So move one step backward and change to the share, and we use Vim to open the views.py. I think this is where we are making a lot of mistakes here. Okay, see the mistakes. Yeah, you can see the mistake right now. You guys can see it. So you see the spelling here was wrong. It should be document. Okay, because that is additional. So move one step backward and run our server. So we should have everything now working clean and nice. Okay, so good. So guys, you can see upload files, title. So I can give the title. Let's say I want the title to be, let me call it party. Then you can see the browse. So I can browse from here. I can now go to any place and upload any videos. Okay, let me just upload any of my videos here. Just let me upload this one. Press enter. You see the name of the file has appeared. You can see the name of the file has appeared. Kazam. You can see my mouse. Then if we can click, the upload your files. Then I click upload, so that's gonna upload it. Okay, so in the upload we are having reverse from home not found. It's not in the valid view or pattern name. So that's a simple error we just have to fix. So the reverse is not working, so we have to change to the share name one more time and use Vim to open the views.py. Then that error code now is coming from that error code is coming from here. Redirect. Okay, the error code should come from here. The redirect should give us what we want. Here it should give us what we want. Redirect to home. Yeah, this should work. Why is it not working? Why is this not working? They should have given us, we say form, we call the variable form again. So when it is saved, this code here is the reason why we are having error. This code here is the reason why we are having error. So return redirect. Or didn't I call the redirect function? I did. So yeah, import redirect. Yeah, where is the error coming from then? Okay. We are supposed to be able to redirect that back to home. Alright, we are supposed to be able to redirect back to home. This code here is well structured. There is no error here because home is here. So let us save. So where will our error be coming from right now? I think this will be from the URLs. URL just route. Let me just give similar name here first. Okay, let's run again and see. Okay guys, let's run let's run again and see. So our code is running. Although we have uploaded file, you can see the file there now. It existing. Yeah. So let's see if we can watch that file, that video. Hello, display. It's working. Linux tutorial. Right. So let's go back. So let me upload another one. So let me call this one Benzino. All right. So I will just upload. I will come here. Let me choose a picture this time around. So you can see you can also upload image, dark web. So click upload files, and that works clearly. You see no error. So that homes was actually giving us error. Now you can see dark web here. Okay, but one thing about here is that the name, the title is not showing here. The title is supposed to show before this dot. So this dot here, in the middle of this dot, you get the title we type. So that's where we need to fix error, and that is from the HTML code. So I will just close this, but we have uploaded 2 files successfully. Okay, I will just close this and minimize the browser. So what you can see, every response is working very fine. So I'll press Ctrl C, clear the screen. If I do LSL, you see the media directory. Are you seeing the media was created automatically by the Django, because we route everything very fine. If I change to that media, you will see LSL, you see that document we created. If I change to document, you will now see the 2 files we have successfully uploaded. Right? So let me move 2 steps backward and change into templates, and use Vim to open the index.html. So the code is the error of that. Why we are not getting here, that error is coming from here. Went and put, we should just put only .title. Right? That was what the error mistake we are doing, not name. There shouldn't be name, since we have title, and we save that, and we move 2 steps backward. So if we run our run server, everything will now work successfully. So the name will now show. Okay, so I believe the other ones would have shown their name by now. Now you see Party and Benzino. So if I upload last one, I'll call this Money Man, and I browse. So this time let me just put the Java programming, which is very long. We can put even 10 hours of videos in this site. So I upload. Now it has uploaded successfully. So if we go to the bottom, you can see Money Man has this file, and if you click it, the video start playing. Very simple. It's a Java video. Okay, sorry, Java book. Sorry, not video. It's a book, not video. Sorry guys. So we come again. Let me talk about let me say Sheriff. Okay, let me give name Sheriff, and this time let me just upload a very nice video here. So I will come down here to video, and I will come down here and I will choose any video of my choice. So let me just pick this one. It's long. Okay, no, that is not long. I think this one is the longest, 232 MB. So we'll upload that. Now I see the video upload works. Just wait for it. See, it works. If we go down, you can see it there, Sheriff. Okay, and this is the video. If we click, finally guys, when the video start playing, you can see we can fast forward the video. We can do anything we want in the video. Alright, okay guys, if you found this interesting, okay, do well to give me a follow, and like the video and share. Okay, if you're watching from YouTube, thanks, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're watching from TikTok, give me a follow, and also try to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, my name is Ben. It's been educational and Kenighan with you guys. Have a nice day and a lovely day. In my next video, I'm going to show you guys how to add Apache as a web server, okay, to host this thing live on the internet. So it will tell me that because right now it's running only locally. Okay, have a nice day and you're blessed.